Having spent a few weeks deep diving into the rapidly expanding world of artificial intelligence, AI, I want to share my thoughts and concerns, some positive, some troubling, and some downright alarming. First, let's be clear, I'm not entirely against AI. In fact, there are many useful tools out there, especially when it comes to helping people write and express their creative visions. But the more I explore AI, particularly large language models and tools for generating images, video, and audio, the more apprehensive I become. I've only scratched the surface of AI's potential, but even that glimpse is enough to leave me unsettled. The sheer number of tools out there is overwhelming, and I can't help but feel that the bandwagon is overloaded, barreling forward with little regard for the potential consequences. I must admit, I've found large language models incredibly useful in specific situations, like now, as I use one to express these thoughts. These tools excel at generating comprehensive content, allowing me to maintain my tone and style while capturing the nuances of how I communicate. It's like having a digital assistant who never tires, always ready to help me articulate ideas with ease. Take tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, for example. These models can draft emails, brainstorm ideas, troubleshoot code, and even craft entire pieces of content. If you're struggling to write a professional email or express a complex thought, these tools can produce polished drafts that reflect your tone. Need help with a tricky piece of code? Claude can analyze it, suggest fixes, or even generate snippets that fit seamlessly into your project. Your always-on assistant is available 24/7, ready to jump in when you're stuck. Let's ask Rachel what she thinks about the use of AI in business, writing policies, etc. What do you think, Rachel?
These tools can indeed be useful for writing business policies, where a company can input business information and have the AI ask more questions to develop a thorough, detailed document. But while these models can produce impressively in-depth content, they don't replace the need for real expertise. Don't forget, we are not experts. I'm certainly not, and neither is the AI. There are professionals out there, lawyers, doctors, and other specialists who have spent years acquiring knowledge and experience that AI simply can't replicate. So while AI can create a policy or a contract that seems absolutely perfect, will it hold up legally? Will it stand up to scrutiny without being reviewed by someone with the proper expertise? The answer is uncertain, and that's a risk we can't afford to ignore.
Thank you for your input, Rachel. As insightful and considered as ever. Let's now look at images, and my long-suffering business partner will explain this in detail for us.
When it comes to images, the creative possibilities seem endless. We've seen stunning designs over the past 20 years, especially with animation advancements from companies like Pixar and Disney and the rise of CGI. Now, tools like MidJourney and Flux Pro allow us to generate fantastic representations in specific styles, and they do a brilliant job. But here's where my concerns deepen. Some AI models can generate pixel-perfect people in virtually any situation across different scenes with diverse characteristics, skin tones, and cultural backgrounds. These images are so convincing that they don't look AI-generated at all. They look like genuine photographs. I'd like to introduce my friend Oliver for his thoughts as we share many opinions and concerns.
Yes, thank you. What I find extremely troubling is the ability to create a character with these AI tools and reuse that exact character across multiple photos, scenes, and situations, essentially building an entire persona that is completely fake. I recently saw a sarcastic tweet suggesting that some AI-generated personas are more real than the pretentious influencer accounts we see today. It's a disturbing thought, but who's to say it isn't already happening? Imagine the implications. It's entirely possible to create an influencer using a completely fabricated persona, built with an AI image generator, and reused across hundreds of photographs. People would believe this persona is real, and that's terrifying. Terrifying because our loved ones, even ourselves, can be duped by these personas, and who knows where it can lead. But the dangers don't stop there. I was shocked to discover that AI is being used to generate NSFW content, not safe for work. In a Facebook group, I saw someone asking for recommendations for AI image generators that can produce NSFW content. Being the old fuddy-duddy that I am, I had to Google what NSFW even meant. And when I found out, I was horrified. People want to create content that they wouldn't want their boss to see them viewing at work, inappropriate or even pornographic material, and they want an AI generator to create those images. This raises deeply troubling questions. What if someone takes that fabricated persona I mentioned earlier and uses it to create NSFW content, provocative, seductive, or even fully pornographic imagery? What if they make that persona resemble a specific person? All of this is technically possible. I've even seen discussions about using AI to create fake profiles on platforms like OnlyFans, where people generate and sell explicit content. The thought of AI being used to fuel these dark corners of the internet is deeply unsettling.
I absolutely share your thoughts and concerns. Let's look at what else AI can do: audio, video, and deepfake. I've deliberately avoided exploring AI video creation tools because, frankly, it doesn't interest me to create completely fake content. But considering what can be done with text and images, I dread to think about the possibilities with video. We can already take a sample of someone's voice and make it say whatever we want. Combine that with a generative AI-created persona in a video, and we can essentially deepfake a person. Deepfakes aren't new, but the unregulated use of AI makes them easier and more convincing than ever, and anyone with access to the internet can do it. This technology allows us to simulate imagery, voice, and video in ways that could cause massive problems. And it's frighteningly convincing. We're already at the point where AI-generated images are so good that people can't tell the difference. I've seen comments on wildlife photos, clearly AI-generated, praising the beauty of what they believe are real photos of wolves, foxes, bears, and even landscapes. These images aren't real, but so many people think they are. The potential dangers of deepfakes go far beyond just creating misleading content. They pose serious risks to both society and individuals. Imagine a scenario where deepfake videos are used in a political campaign to spread misinformation, showing a candidate making inflammatory statements they never actually made. This could sway public opinion, manipulate election outcomes, and destabilize trust in democratic institutions. On a more personal level, deepfakes can be weaponized for targeted attacks, such as fabricating compromising videos of someone to ruin their reputation or blackmail them. Victims of such attacks could find their lives upended, with little recourse to prove the footage is fake before the damage is done. These aren't just hypothetical scenarios. We're already seeing early examples of deepfakes being used in malicious ways. As this technology becomes more accessible, the potential for harm increases, making it all the more crucial that we address these risks head-on before they spiral out of control. I want to introduce Manuel, who has been studying artificial intelligence longer than most of us ever knew what it was or how it could change the world we live in.
The future seems extremely daunting to me, especially as this technology grows at an out-of-control rate, with little to no regulation. The implications of this unregulated growth are deeply concerning, especially in a world driven by greed and plagued by the spread of clickbait, get-rich-quick scams that prey on the vulnerable, lonely, and disconnected, many of whom are already struggling to pay their skyrocketing bills. Artificial intelligence has the potential to do incredible good, but in the wrong hands, it could destroy lives. The ability to craft hyper-realistic images, fabricate entire personas, and misuse these in harmful ways cannot be overlooked. We're rapidly reaching, or perhaps we've already reached, a point where we can no longer trust what we see or hear online. Given the rapid advancements in AI technology, it's no surprise that governments and regulatory bodies are starting to take notice. Just recently, the European Union proposed the AI Act, a comprehensive framework for regulating AI across member states. This legislation is one of the first serious attempts to put guardrails on AI development, addressing everything from transparency requirements to prohibiting certain high-risk uses like social scoring or mass surveillance. In the United States, there's growing discussion about similar regulations, with tech leaders and policymakers alike acknowledging the need for oversight. Yet, despite these efforts, there's still a significant gap between the pace of AI development and the implementation of effective regulation. This gap is where my concerns really take root. Without stringent regulations in place, we're essentially playing catch-up with a technology that's evolving faster than we can manage. And with the rise of AI-generated content that's almost indistinguishable from reality, the risks of misuse and the potential for harm are escalating. That is my view at this moment. Thank you for allowing me to contribute to the discussion.
Thank you, Manuel. It's good to hear there may be some regulatory control on the horizon, distant and somewhat late as it may be. As we navigate this rapidly evolving landscape, it's not enough to simply acknowledge the risks. We must take action. Staying informed about AI and its implications is the first step. Educate yourself and others about the potential dangers of deepfakes, AI-generated content, and the broader ethical concerns surrounding these technologies. But don't stop there. Advocate for responsible AI use by demanding transparency and accountability from the companies developing these tools. Support policymakers who are pushing for comprehensive AI regulations that prioritize public safety and ethical standards. As Manuel mentioned, the EU and US are looking at ways to regulate AI, but that is some time away, and by then, more content will litter our online platforms, confuse and mislead us in content found on Google, and forge opinions based on inaccurate and fake content. The future of AI isn't set in stone. We have the power to shape it. By insisting on responsible development and use of these technologies, we can ensure that AI's incredible potential is harnessed for good, while mitigating the risks that could otherwise lead to devastating consequences. The time to act is now.